Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Well, it wouldn't be a party without the Freedom Caucus, now would it? I mean, why would we want nice, boring budgets when you could have the Freedom Caucus spicing them up for us? Okay. What's happening? Congress comes back after Labor Day, and they have 12 government funding bills that they need to approve before the new fiscal year begins on October 1st. They don't have enough time to get them all done. McCarthy is floating the idea of a short-term bridge. And he's floating the idea to the Republicans. And basically what this bridge would do is it would give more time to approve these funding bills, thus the government funding the beginning of the year, which would normally start on October 1st in that fiscal year. It'll allow things to just basically proceed as they are, and then they can work out the new budget on December 1st instead of October 1st. Is that going to fly with the Freedom Caucus people? Probably not, but it's a reasonable thing to do. Nope, the Freedom Caucus, they're flexing their muscles, and they want McCarthy to play hardball with the Democrats. What do they want? Among the demands from the House Freedom Caucus is they want spending levels below the top line numbers that McCarthy agreed to with President Biden as part of the bill to increase the national debt ceiling. You know, basically renege on what you already agreed on. They want to include a bill that aims to build more of the wall on the southern border and restrict asylum for those seeking to remain in the U.S. because you got to kick down on the brown people, right? And then they want the government to address what they call the unprecedented weaponization of the Justice Department and FBI to conduct political witch hunts. Okay, Trump. And then they don't want any, what they're calling a blank check for Ukraine. The White House asked Congress to provide more than $13 billion in emergency defense aid and $8 billion for humanitarian support. So they don't want to send money to Ukraine. They want to build a wall. They want to say there's a witch hunt. And they're okay with shutting the government down in order to get their demands. Now, mind you, most of these demands are just petty BS. Nothing to do with the budget. But that's the House Freedom Caucus in a nutshell, right? They're petty. They're petty, shallow people that are looking for attention. They want to grift. They want to create outrage, so on and so forth. So, a couple questions. One, will McCarthy be able to get his bridge bill across such that they can start the fiscal year in December and just basically keep funding levels at the current level so that the government can continue to operate while they pass these? Entertainment purposes only. We start off with the King of Pentacles. So guess who's at the heart of all this? This is Trump. Now, this could be McCarthy also representing Trump, but this is Trump, weaponizing the Freedom Caucus to basically cause chaos. But this also could be McCarthy, trying to keep the budget going with all the resistance he's going to get from the Freedom Caucus. And there's your money. There's the budget. So, okay. So Freedom Caucus, again, so you're the King of Pentacles. You've got that strong masculine energy about I'm controlling all the funding. And it's crossed with this funding doesn't just, affect one person. It affects everybody in the country. So you're playing with fire on this one because McCarthy owns the purse strings. The House owns the purse strings, but the purse strings affects every man, woman, and child in the United States. What do we have underneath it? The Knight of Pentacles. So it's coming forward with that offering of money. What are they going to do? Are they going to play hardball and keep the money to themselves so that they can reduce spending and then have all these investigations into the FBI and DOJ? Or are they going to free it up so that government workers get paid, folks get their Social Security checks and their Medicare payments, and the military gets paid, and so on and so forth? That's what you got. So that's what that bridge gap is going to look like. Can we kick this down the road and just keep the money flowing? In the past, the King of Wands. This is not the DOJ. This is the Republican leadership, like the Mitch McConnells in something. They kept their hands off of McCarthy in the House and let them stumble through the negotiations about raising the debt ceiling. And there was an understanding that once the debt ceiling got raised, the next big battle was going to be the budget in September. And, they're just like, hey, you know what, you got through that, but you've got another battle that you need to go on. Maybe the senators did enough to convince McCarthy to get that thing signed with Biden, but that's in the past. Now we've got this new problem with the Freedom Caucus. Current situation, Page of Swords. All right, so this is the Freedom Caucus. They're waving their sword around, trying to be the big man on campus type of thing. Like, we've got this power and we're going to use it. Now, they're rookies. They don't know what they're doing. And like a young person, and this isn't to slam on young people, but they're not wise enough to understand all the consequences. They're just mature enough to know that exactly what they want and how to, quote unquote, win. But they're not taking into account the consequences. Part of the thing with the Freedom Caucus is that they're in really gerrymandered districts. So being an extremist is actually a good thing. So if they shut down the government, they don't pay a price for it because their district isn't going to make them pay a price for it. But any other Republican congressperson who's not in a gerrymandered to hell and back district, who actually, has to worry about the general election, they're going to be in a bad way. So this Freedom Caucus is just causing more problems. Overarching energy. There needs to be an agreement. And the agreement has to be between either McCarthy and the Democrats, because you're going to have to agree with the Democrats if you want to get your bill, like your stopgap bill, passed through there. The Democrats will support them on this one. How many Republicans can you get to support them on this one? Versus, trying to come to an agreement with the House Freedom Caucus and shutting the government down. And if you shut the government down, how are you going to be able to blame the Democrats for this one? Because it's the House Freedom Caucus that have pretty much gone on record saying that they're okay with the government being shut down. The Republicans will be held to account for whatever decisions that they make. Oh, there's going to be a lot of turmoil with this. These guys aren't going to go quietly this time. The last time they were really grumpy that McCarthy made that deal with Joe Biden. They were really grumpy about that. And they had a meeting with McCarthy to lay into him about the agreements that McCarthy made. And they swore, I remember reading about this. They came out of that basically with McCarthy promising him certain things. And, they weren't going to forget what these promises were come September, October, when they needed to be delivered. So they are going to raise Cain. They are going to basically be chaos agents through this whole thing. Outcome, judgment. The House Freedom Caucus is not going to support this bridge. And it's going to be key on McCarthy to be able to get Democrats on board and enough Republicans on board to do this bridging maneuver. And there's going to be a lot of turmoil with this and a lot of judgment. That's telling me they're not going to get it done because they're going to be judged by their actions. And I don't think they would be judged for kicking it down the road and, being bipartisan and working things through. I think they're going to cause a delay. They will cause a government shutdown and cause all the turmoil on that, and then they will have to bear the judgment for their decisions on that. That's my thought. So, no, I don't think they're going to get a bridge on this one. I don't think that bridge is going to come through. I will read on if they'll shut the government down, but all signs point to yes. Don't even need my magic 8 ball for that. Magic 8 balls rule. Okay. Judgment. That's a great card at the end. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. Okay, so will the Freedom Caucus shut the government down? Will they intentionally shut the government down to make their point? These cards want to stay on top. I'm going to bury them here just because I don't want it to be the same cards I had before. I do bury them and shuffle them, but they could be some cards at the top that would come up. Okay. Will the House Freedom Caucus purposely have the government shut down to make their point? Their Page of Swords point. Oh, and they'll fundraise off of it too. 6 of Coins. This is like your budgets and the big money that's in the budget, and they're just going to be scrapping over pennies when there's bigger things to fry and holding on to it. Yeah, so this is kind of like you can be charitable and worry about the small people that actually depend on the government because that's the right and fair thing to do, but they're too caught up in their own drama to care about these people. And the funny thing is, these people are their people. Well, how do I put that? A lot of the MAGA supporters are not really wealthy people. Hence the people on the bottom of this card. However, a lot of the money comes from the wealthy people. So the MAGA folks claim to represent the poor rural people, but in fact, all they're doing is representing the wealthy elites that throw money at them. So, I don't think they're interested in charity. They're interested in their own power and under the guise of keeping things fiscally under control. What do we have underneath their strength card? Strength or weakness. In some ways, this is a weakness of theirs because the House Freedom Caucus, again, they're chaos agents. They don't know how to build things. They only know how to obstruct. So like this lion, they refuse to take the pill to make the country healthy because that's not what they're built for. They're built for spitting the pill out, not for swallowing it. And in their mind, they already had to swallow the pill back when the debt ceiling got raised. They don't want to swallow it again. Background, 3 of Pentacles, the backroom dealings. This is the agreements that they made with McCarthy back in March. I think it was March when they did the debt ceiling increase, when they increased the debt ceiling. And they met with McCarthy and just laid into him. And they came out saying that they got agreements and concessions out of him. These are the concessions. These concessions were there, and now it's time to pay the piper. And McCarthy's kind of smarmy. He's the kind of guy that doesn't want... He'll split words and stuff like that. They're not going to let him get away with it. Here we go again. They are chaos agents. They are going to cause turmoil. And that's what they want. They want chaos. They want turmoil. They want to put fear in the collective, for lack of a better description. Yeah, they have every intention of having the government shut down and all the chaos that comes from that. Interesting. 8 of Pentacles. Hard work. These people, again, government workers, military, anybody who's funded by the federal government's not going to get paid. Or maybe they get paid for a little bit, but they're not going to get paid. They're going to be furloughed or whatever happens during a government shutdown. And they're not considering these people. All they're considering is this abstract concept of we want what we want and we'll shut the government down if we don't get what we want. And they don't consider the hardworking blue-collar people that keep this country running and who depend on the money. Yeah, the elites are telling you what to do, but it's your supporters that you're hurting with this. They depend on this money. Again, what do you think makes up the majority of the Republican base? A lot of it are older people. And do those people collect Social Security? And are they on Medicare? And are their Social Security payments going to get suspended? Their Medicare benefits may be cut or suspended? Military folk? Again, anybody who's paid by the federal government's not going to get paid. And you're going to pay the price for that. Because you can't blame it on the Democrats. You're already on record saying you're going to do this. Too damn stupid. Yep. Damn fools. They're going to do it anyway because they can. They will walk right off the cliff. Because they're too damn weak to actually do something constructive for the country. They don't know how. That's not what they're built for. I'm so tired of this. This is what we get. He allowed for gerrymandering to happen. A whole lot of us just went ho hum, not impacting me. Now it does. I mean, I'm not collecting any money from the government, but this stuff impacts me. It's gonna impact all of us. Maybe not directly. Might be indirectly. Gotta stop electing these people. You gotta start getting the district maps redrawn so that they're more fair and that the Republican Party has to pull back and become closer to what they were 50 years ago and actually try and represent their districts and come up with policy instead of dictating to them. This is going to be the hard one. How long is this going to last? I think I watched Kim recently say it was short. I think Sterling even said it was going to be short. So forgive me if I'm going to have a bias on there. It's probably not going to be too long, but Fair, can you give me an idea of how long this is going to last? Tarot and timing. Good Lord. Here we go. What do we got? Oh, waiting for things to happen. How long of a wait are we looking at? Queen of Swords. Okay, things. This is going to tell me things are going to go a bit more quickly because at some point somebody's got to say, you got to knock it the heck off. This isn't going with it. Money. Going forward. Oh, we're back to that card again. Okay, so underlying, what's going to happen? 3 days or 3 weeks? And I think they're going to find that their message is feeble. That it's not resonating with the country. And now somebody's going to come in and say, you've got to stop. This stops now. And then somebody has to come in and give them an out. Because the thing is, they don't have an out. The minute you backed yourself into that corner, what are you going to do? We want all these things. We want the wall, and we want investigations into the Department of Justice, and we want Ukraine not to get a blank check. And, okay, well, you're not going to get the wall. And, you're not going to get the investigations of the Department of Justice. And you have the ability to restrict Ukraine's thing, but that's a popular thing amongst U.S. people. So what's their out? How do they save face? So somebody's going to have to come in and figure out how to save face for them. Because in the end of the day, they're hurting people. Is it 3 days or 3 weeks? It'll be somewhere between there. It'll be almost a business week to 3 business weeks for them to sort it out. That's going to be my guess. So maybe that's the way to look at it. It won't be more than 3 weeks. Probably after 3 days, they'll realize that they're in trouble. I'm going to guess 3 weeks. No, that might be too up. Again, that might be too pessimistic. 3 days to 3 weeks. It really depends on who the Queen of Swords is and gets the message across to them, and who the Knight of Cups is to carry that message. You know, I guess if McCarthy can promise them more stuff to help them save face, then they'll do it quicker. But if McCarthy is feckless like he normally is and can't get them to agree, then this could go on for a couple of weeks and cause problems. I don't know which one it's going to be. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's just a window. 3 days, 3 weeks. That's going to be my guess. Okay, well, good times, huh? It's always a party when you have the Freedom Caucus in there. They're so much fun. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your likes and your comments and your shares. Thanks to folks who've subscribed. Welcome to the new subscribers. I hope you're finding these readings entertaining and informative and insightful. I appreciate all the support that you've given me and my channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.